Definitely need to turn that down a fair bit. There we go. We are live. And we'll see how much my PC can survive, because this is like a much more... Ooh. Oh. Did Steam Link just crash? I was just about to say, like, oh, we'll see how long Steam Link lasts, because this is a much more demanding world than usual. And then it just straight up crashes. That's actually hilarious. Okay, now let's just try restarting Steam Link again and just seeing how it does. Okay. So, yeah. See Steam Link? It's fine. It's fine. It doesn't matter that we're trying to render an entire ocean behind me, literally. Don't worry about it. Here, I'm gonna like position this a little bit better so that when I like put my hand on my mouse, it doesn't like block the camera's view of me, but still have like the ocean in frame. There we go. How's that look? Hand on mouse. Oh! No, those are the controllers. Okay. Keyboard, mouse, face and frame. We're good. And we'll see how long it takes for my fans to ramp up again and crash Steam Link again. It is kind of funny that Steam Link crashed and nothing else. It's like, rest of it was fine. But, yeah. That's why we're using CPU encoding, because the GPU is quite cooked. Video encode is already, like, as high as it can go. VRAM is fine. Like, VRAM is, like, it's chilling. We have enough room to run an LSP in there. Not an LSP, an LLM. But yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see if Steam Link crashes again. Hopefully, it was just like stream starting up, and it was like, oh no, and then it craps itself. But it seems to be stable for now. If anything, like, my fans are a little bit less than they were before. If I look at... Does it say, like, how hot the GPU is getting? No, I think that would be, like, a... Because I do have, like, a mini PC build. Like, there's a 3090 and Ryzen 9 in there, but it's, like, a mini build I can put in a backpack and travel with. So... I might have just hit the thermal limits on it there. Do I not have Afterburner? I do have Afterburner running. I just want to see what temps we're at. These are like my CPU temperatures, right? Here's my GPU temperatures. Ah, it's fine. It's fine. It will survive. Alright, to jump in right where we left off yesterday, let's just get right into a build. So I can show everybody what we left off on, which was, it does compile, it does run, but it doesn't seem to do anything, so we need to figure out why it isn't doing anything. Because we're not even getting error messages, it's just like, compile failed, and no other messages, because it's supposed to record, like, messages from all the different compiler stages. I don't even understand what you're saying before the stream starts, I'm not sure that I'll be able to understand the rest, lol. Look at, like, what it looks like, and, go with the vibes. This is the best advice I can give, because it's, like, half what I'm doing, too. You know, vibe coding. It's become a trend recently, you know? Okay, I need to put a breakpoint on main, because otherwise we don't actually see the output of the function. That, and to see how the whole project is going. It's going well. We're, like, sort of on schedule, sort of not. Currently aiming for trying to get, like, a in-headset demo working by AWE. I'm, like, very loosely considering a booth right now. It really depends on if I can get somebody else to pay for it or not. So here, we'll snooze the Twitch ad. We don't want a Twitch ad right when the stream starts. Yep. It would just be, like, very nice to be like, you know, I keep talking this big talk about this engine, but here it is, actually existing. Okay. So this is what we have so far, and all of this was here before the last stream, except for this last print statement. This last print statement wasn't there before the last stream. Yippee! We added failed to compile. Of course, there was a lot more work that went into this, aside from just the one failed to compile. We actually need to put a breakpoint there and step through. I mean, we don't even want to put breakpoint there. You should have put it there and figure out which compile pass actually fails to return. Because hopefully we're getting through at least the combiner pass and into the actual intermediate representation generation phase. Yeah. But before going any further, I'm real quickly going to go here to build, VS Code. I'm gonna mess with my launch command, no, not launch commands, with my tasks. That way, building, I wish I could do comments. Build debug and build release no longer depend on CMake configure, because CMake configure for some reason is taking, like, ages after my last messing around with build systems. So remember how long it took to build before? Now if we build again... Wait, why is it still running CMake configure? I just told it not to do that. Did I remember to write the file? I might not have remembered to write the file. But anyway, there you can see how long CMake configure takes. And no changes. I didn't make any changes to CMake configure, so it technically didn't need to do that. But hopefully next time we run build, I actually saved the file, so we should see it. I'm gonna throw this over here on the right. And then we are going to see what's going on here. Okay, so we get past the combiner pass. I didn't want to step into that. Let's step out. Oh wait, is step O? Yeah. Dang, my debugger did weird stuff. And we need to run again! I know how to use my debugger, don't worry about it. But yeah, let's see how long this takes to rebuild. It looks like it might have... Wait, oh, I just stopped it. Let's actually start it again. Why is configure still running? I said it to not need configure. Okay, cmake build debug. Oh, then what did I... Build database. Oh, I want that to still... Okay, build release. Build debug. I set the wrong thing. So next time, it should skip cmake configure. And let's actually step into this. So somewhere in here, I don't want to go into there. There we go. Module equals... What do you mean module equals none? Place back, module second, so that's working. Oh, wait a second. We didn't even... Like, I just put a breakpoint here. Reach source list in module sources, which is this thing here. And that didn't run at all, which means we didn't add anything into module sources. That, or it's telling me that debug statement isn't valid. I'll just put a breakpoint in there, so theoretically it does go in there. I am running a slight amount of optimization on the actual debug executable, that way that otherwise the compiler complains that there's too much information. Rather the linker does. Because apparently I got too spicy with like how many templates I was using and stuff. Let's do... It wouldn't be compile module, would it be? Let's rename this to... Not combine module. Actually, combine module would be good, but merge module works? Yeah. This is a compile pass, not a compile itself, and before this pass was the entire compiler. And then we changed what it was doing. Okay, so we're back in... We're back in the compile pass. And I shouldn't have a breakpoint in there. Oh, wait, I do have a breakpoint in there, and it actually caught. Nice. And then we go into merge module, which is the thing that the breakpoint didn't get triggered on before. So we do have a module named test, and we are putting stuff in there. Good. What did the breakpoint catch? Ah, all this stuff getting optimized out. Yeah, it's messing with me. I wonder if I can set compiler levels for specific build targets, as opposed to the entire thing. Because it appears, if not compiled context, return none. Oh wait, are we hitting this little breakpoint here? Or that return statement, I should say. I wonder if that's getting inlined and that's why the debugger's acting like it's in the same function. Actually, no, I have breakpoints in there. I should be stepping into that. Okay, so we'll actually look at compiler context here. And we do contain a sum, so this shouldn't return. If we look into the combiner pass, compiler context. Actually, we want to look at compiler pass. Messages length 0, so nothing to report, sir. Everything seems to be in order. Then if we go and I'm going to throw a breakpoint on this. And that stepped us out of the entire function. Yeah, I might need to see if I can set compiler flags differently here. Here's what I'll do. We're going to go into CMake lists here, and this little bit of code here is what says do a slight amount of optimization, like this OG. Do a slight amount of optimization that's still in line with debug builds. I think that's what's messing up the debug walkthrough. So I'm going to delete that from here. Actually, first, I'm going to yank all of that. Then we're going to delete that. And then we're going to go into source parser. And parser was the target that was failing to link because it was too big. And we're going to do that. And then that makes it so that we're only setting the optimization flags on specifically the, well, actually, Can I set... I might need to see if I can set it for specifically only one target. Target compile options. Yeah, target compile options is what I want. And is it add? No, it's just target compile options. And now I do need to manually run CMake here. However long this takes. Okay, that's done, and now we should be able to run again. Cool! It actually works. And theoretically, it's easier to debug now. Theoretically. And my, step-through options might actually work how I expect them to. Yeah, this seems a lot more consistent than it was before. Now, this should have one pipeline in it, which it does. And we do insert it into the compiler context. Oop. Okay, yeah, it was the debugger flags. This is actually usable now. And now we enter into run for the actual, compile system. I need to, throw on it a bug message unable to compile module. I like this music though, it's it's somehow fitting to the underwater but still synthwave. I didn't quite expect that. Oh, it did successfully compile the module. That, it shouldn't be there if it successfully compiled it. That was successful. What? Well, I mean, maybe it didn't fully successfully compile it, but there should be, messages. No messages. Huh? Huh? That completed. Where's modules from? Oh, modules is the result of this. Indeed, the playlist is magical. I've been using it for like 3 years of streaming, and it's still good. How long do you usually stream? It varies. At the least, I usually do like 2.5 hours, and then like on the upper range, I'll go up to like 5 hours and 30 minutes is like usually the maximum. Let's see if I can figure out what modules is. Variant index 1, which I believe is an error. How can you last more than 1 hour in VR? I usually get headaches if I use more than 1 hour. I am a veteran. I've been using VR for... oh man, how long now? Well, I can tell you this, my like Score Saber account, like ranked Beat Saber leaderboard, whatever. I made that in 2019, so that's 6 years ago. And I would have been using VR slightly before then as well. So let's call it 7 years at this point that I've been actively like working and developing in VR. So it might just be like a built-up tolerance thing, but then again, I've always like never really been motion sickness or... yeah, I'm tolerant to pain as well, so there's that. There is an IR module in here. Then why is it saying compilation fails? This should be... oh! Oh my. I should have had an explanation point here. It's printing out failed to compile when it's successfully compiled. Here I am doing all this debugging, and I'm like, this all looks like it's correct. I believe that you can have many monitor screens in VR, which is kind of cool. Your beliefs are correct. Give me a second, and I can, yeah, so this is what I see right now. So, like, I see, like, my camera over there. I can look at the actual camera there. Then these are my two screens. So you can see, like, I have chat down there. I have my screen up here. It's overlaid over the virtual world, so it's like my hands or like wings that very much would be getting in my way aren't getting in my way. And yeah, and you can also see that like the part of the aquarium I see is a giant rock, whereas you guys get to see the actual like cool looking part of the aquarium. Is there a limit? It's kind of like locked to the amount of like physical monitors you have. Like I only have one physical monitor, and then I've like jury-rigged my computer to have a virtual monitor. So this monitor up here doesn't exist. That's like purely virtual. But yeah. Come on, hand tracking. There we go. So technically, I don't think there is a limit to how many screens if you want to like do a ton of virtual screens. And I think virtual desktop in particular allows you to put multiple on there. What was I doing? Right, I was laughing at the stupidity of my own code. So now that we know this is in fact successfully compiling, I can say if compiler res for module in compile res value. And what I want to do next, which is what I was considering doing last stream, but ended up not because I thought it wasn't working, even though it is I wanted to create the serialization half of printing out IR to a human-readable format, or intermediate representation. So we can actually just get started on that now. Is Brane Engine a 3D engine? Yes. I mean, for VR, would 2D work for VR? Maybe there's a fun experiment to be done there, but I don't think VR works with 2D, so it must by needs be a 3D engine. So now I get to decide how I want to handle serializing this. Do I want this to be public functions? Or do I want to do more of like a template-based system that I was doing before? Because in the Brane Engine codebase, what I do... Where is utility? There it is, at the bottom. Hello, you're on YouTube this time. Why are you on YouTube this time? You're always on Twitch. How do you create 3D? Because I want to create Doom 1939 engine. There is a number of several different ways, but if you want to just get started with 3D engines, I would say Raylib is a good way to start. It has like bindings to basically all the popular languages that you might want to use. So you could even like write stuff in Python if you really want to, though I'd suggest using something a little bit more low level, like maybe even start out with C, or if you want to be spicy, Rust. And if you want to like try out something new that not a lot of people use, but I've heard good things about, you could try using Odin with Raylib. Yeah, all of those things are easy. C++ and OpenGL. That's a good starting point. I guess for that, this Learn OpenGL website is like perfect for that. And I think it teaches you like OpenGL. Yeah. For that, I would just go through this website, because I reference it even for Vulkan stuff that I'm doing, particularly on the shader side. Like, when I got PBR working, it was, I'll be honest, it was all this tutorial. Yeah. Had a YouTube tab open and was lazy. Understandable. Alright, what was I showing off? Right, I was showing off serialized data. So the pattern that I figured out I really liked in BraneScript was basically copying the Rust trait system, and I think I want specifically the editor state refactor. And then the serialized data version of the editor state refactor. And in here, I have like this, which is essentially a it's like a trait definition or an interface definition. Do you think C is better than C++ in game dev, or is it the other way around? Generally, large projects I've seen are all built on top of C++. There's some diehard C fans, and then like Rust is like the new kid on the block, where I don't think any like super large games have been shipped in Rust, except for I hear rumors like that Lone Echo was made with Bevy, of all things. Like Lone Echo 1 and 2. And that's one of the reasons why the studio... That may have been one of the reasons the studio died, is because they couldn't hire people to actually maintain it, because like nobody knows how to use Rust-based game engines. Like, see, there's like... Not echoes. Chained echoes. We want Lone Echo. But... Yeah, I mean, like, Thrill was the one who told me that it was written in Bevy, or Rust specifically. He didn't say Bevy, but I assume if it was made in Rust, it was made in Bevy, because that it's like the Rust game engine. But like, there's no public information on actually, seemingly, what game engine it was made in. But I mean, you can learn Rust. Rust isn't the most ergonomic for game dev. The language is dominated by theorists rather than actual game devs. So, I don't know. There's pros and cons to that. Like, the tools are very solid, but perhaps not feature-rich enough. It's very much like theorists like myself love it. But, like, especially the bar checker, there's a lot of, like... You need to allow game devs to BS stuff a little bit, more than Rust allows them to. You usually get burnout when coding? I exist in a continual state of 30 to 50% burnout. But I just keep going. Right now I'm in a state of not very burned out, though, so that's good. But, yeah, so what I did before was make manual definitions of serializer instances for each type. And while this works, it's very verbose. I'm just wondering if that's the way that I want to go about this, or not. I think what I'll do is say... create an IR text serializer. And then this class will be the way that we currently serialize stuff. We will have a binary serialization at some point, but not quite yet. Now, how do I want to handle this? Well, I mean, this isn't anything that requires state. I'm almost tempted to do, like, your namespace Brane script and then namespace IR serializer, and then literally just a result string IR to text, and then pass in an IR module. We have string, enums, result h. We don't need string because IR will import that. And then at some point we'll have text to IR. And this will be the exact opposite. We will return an IR module. And we'll have a string view as the text. And right now we only need to define the IR to text. I wonder, can you do scoped namespace like this? Is that valid? It doesn't seem to be complaining. So I'm gonna go with yes, I can do it like that. But it isn't jumping between definitions. Oh. It's because I didn't have that as a reference. Now it should be able to link them. Oh, yeah. Then this needs to go through every single one of our things and print it out. So we're just going to do... This is where we heavily copy a WASM module. Cool. And going to like mostly rip this off. Gonna say return. Okay, standard format. But we're actually going to have the module name because I want names. But I have to think about grammar here. And will I actually have to write a parser for this? Will I have to write a parser for this? If this is complicated enough, I will have to write a parser for the human-readable version of this. Which is pain. But yeah, this world is... Come on. I am clicking. There we go. Aquarius. It's an older desktop-only world. But I like it. It is quite nice. That will print out the name of the module. Yeah, ALVR, especially the hand tracking bindings for ALVR are a little bit sketch. And also, like, the Vision Pro hand tracking really breaks down the instant you try to use it for games. And now the question is, how do I want to handle module? How does my grammar for this work? Don't think you made the world a group instance? It is a group instance. It's just a very locked down group instance. I don't think my computer could handle any more avatars right now either, to be honest. Like, the room, like, the IRL room is heating up right now. How do I want to handle parameters? So am I gonna write like entire tree sitter parser for this? Or am I just gonna write a custom parser myself? I could write a custom parser myself. Open window? I live in Florida. Opening a window doesn't work. Alright, Jack, see you around. My solution is to drink water. It's a geological issue. That's okay, I used to mow lawns in this weather. I'm used to it. I am comfortable with being cooked. Okay, so I think the solution, they have a specification for the text representation? Structure from conciseness is structure defined in forms of an abstract syntax. All parts of this specification are defined in terms of this abstract syntax. Looks like I might have to make an AST parser. Could you explain what a buffer is? A buffer is another any piece of memory can be a buffer. So buffer is the same as a list, is the same as an array. Sometimes there's more technical differences, like sometimes a list is like separate pieces of memory joined together to create a larger something or other. But buffer generally means like it's one piece of memory without breaks. Or like list or array or yeah. Yeah. Buffers are storage. Generally, and yeah, in graphics programmer, buffers are what you use to store just memory. Okay, so they definitely have an entire parser in here. Do I want to write parser for this, or can I come up with a common syntax? I feel like I'm going to come up with a common syntax here, and the common syntax I'm going to come up with is that a parsable thing, like an element of the grammar, is something between parentheses. It can have a list of known arguments, and then an array as the last thing. Not an end thing. That way we can just split them up by white space. Then non-white space things, or stuff with parentheses, get parsed into one block. Or maybe I make it more structured than this. Because I think in WASM modules you can define stuff in any order. But maybe I don't want to be able to define stuff in any order. Maybe I want to do structures, functions, and then pipelines. That's cool. Thought I smelled burning plastic for a second. I'm gonna like prop open the sides of my PC case. I don't know, I've had it under this high of a load for similar amounts of time. Hopefully the burning is elsewhere. Anyway, I won't worry too much about the parsing side of things, because right now I only need a debug output. I mean, I don't need them to be in order, so we'll just copy kind of how WASM works here. With, actually, potentially want indexes here? Or it's just the GPU doing magic? Yeah. This will be... I'm gonna call this struct. The struct will potentially have an ID. And then wonder why these functions have money sign, dollar sign. Whereas the imports are strings. We can convert it into this. I might just make all of them, I guess, quoted. I like the idea of quoting strings just in case. That will make it easier to parse out in the future. But I think I'm going to keep it consistent. Either... Yeah, I'll just always do stuff like that instead of this $sign. I don't think that makes too much sense. I wonder, should I make a... Nah, it's fine. This will be either struct ID value or and I'm putting this dash here because that's not valid grammar. But we can use not valid grammar to our advantage to make stuff that we know will never clash with user-defined things. So let's say this is anon struct, and then pass in the index. Alright, and then we can pass in ID as one of the arguments. So we have struct, and then the ID, and then we need each one of the members of the ID, or of the struct. So let's do another function, which is I still want the module context, because if I need to reference anything else in the module, like, say, types, then I would have to do it here. Eventually I don't need to, though. It is going well. How about yours? I guess a bunch of member types. Aside from still being out in the Florida heat right now. Heard. I'm recreating the Florida heat right now for myself with the PC. This world is turns out to be pretty heavy. So I'm currently cooking myself. But it's okay, I have water. I want the member index as well. See, and then we'll do format, and then this is where I would potentially put debug information of the member name. Yeah, ID, and then the type. And see, here's the thing, is that I'm not sure liquid cooling works when the coolant is just being rendered. So here's the thing to think about. If you have a light in a game, it's a real light. There's something to think about. Oh, right, that's what I was going to do. Thank you. This is Aquarius. I think this, I'm going to always have an identifier. Then we're going to do the exact same thing I do up here. I'm going to say member ID is equal to S members ID. Mid. This variable is mid. Then we're going to have the type. So now I have to do a honestly, I don't think this would need to be a result. I mean, it could be a result. At least it's not value.value.value. True. So here's the reason why I potentially might want to make a function for this. It's because this can be a variant between a native type, which is one of these, and an ID ref. And an ID ref can be a number, or it can be a string. And if this is a number and it points to something named, I want to convert it to the name for debugging purposes. Or, well, not even for debugging purposes, but for readability. Actually, no. For debugging purposes, I want it to stay as it is. But this doesn't need to be a result. For IR type, we're also going to have serialize native type. And here we're going to pass a IR native type. And we'll just return still valid grammar, but we'll just literally call it parse write error and the parser output. This is a real test of my memorization of where numbers are, which my muscle memory for that isn't the greatest, which is why you'll see me, like, I touch type fine, but when it comes to numbers, and especially symbols on the number bar, like, I struggle a fair bit. There we go. So that will print out all of those correctly. And now with serialized type, this instance open to all group members? I don't think it is, but enough people are asking that I might just create another group instance that is open to all group members. Currently it's only stream safe, but like, I mean, nothing bad has happened yet. So we'll do a new instance group, and ooh, we might even do group plus. Not just a Gen Z thing. The numbers, at least, it's way better to use a numpad or keypad. Yeah, I would agree. I'm going spicy. This one's going to be group plus. But if we see anybody come in that doesn't have a that isn't part of the Brane group, and they're not like a terrible person, we must induct them into the cult. It's too late. I'm creating the instance. Yeah, I can show you guys like the entry of the website, not website, but like entry of the world. So if we go through, like all pretty, oh, it's muted. Very, very dramatic. Is that a fish? Did you guys see? Yeah. It's like a fish bugging out right there in the middle of the screen. Yeah, there it is. That is funny. Yeah. Alright, and then I was actually just hanging out in this little tunnel here. But now that I'm like moving around, maybe we can find a better spot, because there's another tunnel on the other side. Like, this is a fun room in here. Nah. Maybe the jellyfish. Another tunnel. This one's slightly different. Jellyfish room is always cool, but it doesn't have quite enough movement. In my opinion, like, it's cool. It's definitely cool, but not quite enough movement. Here. Is there a video player in here? Yes, there was. You can put it right there. Or it could be really spicy. This is a hot tub stream now. I think I'm going to set up in here. All good. And I understand. Would it be a hot tub or a bird bath? Why can't it be both? do this off of type, which has two variants, IR native type and ID ref. We'll just do serialize native type. We also want to do our native type. Not native type, we want to do ID ref, I think. Static assertion failed. So I think this needs to return string as well, or type of string as well. So we will create a serialize ID ref. This is another match statement for ID. And I think ID ref can be either a string or an integer. This can be a string ref. In which case we just return string, but hello. I wonder how performant standard format is compared to just regular appending of things. Any way for you to mute voices being on stream, but still able to hear on voice chat? You mean like mute the instance? Technically, maybe. I guess it would just make me be even more schizophrenic than usual. So the way that desktop audio works is it's just like my entire system audio. So it would be hard to do music specifically. What I could do here, let me try this. If I do application audio capture, and then we set this to YouTube Studio. All right, talk and say some things. So you may have been faintly hearable or may have not been hearable. If he is not hearable but we can still hear music, it's working. If that was what you're asking. So it looks like I can do, like, mute the voices of people who are here with me. It's like, I'm not sure how that works for the, like, greater stream, I guess? Because then it's just like, I look super schizophrenic. But yeah. Yeah. Working? I mean, the other solution is like, I guess. Well, no, because Discord, like, it's hard for me to like hear things, but then not record it, but like selectively. Because I'm thinking like some people would want to do their voice and some people wouldn't. Eh. When I have to do the streamer thing where you repeat what people say, but they're standing right next to you. So in the case of this, we'll put... You were like super quiet. Here, 1 second. What? Come on, control. There we go. Like bump up your volume a good bit. Hello. I think it might also be that you're just kind of far away from me. Slightly. But it might also be because I turned you up a bit. Okay, so... we have that parentheses, and then... what would I want to do, like, syntax for numbers? I guess I can come up with... if it becomes a problem, I can change the format. Ugh, I hate that format. Ugh. And then here for the ID ref type, I can do serialized ID ref, and then type, and then it's happy, except, ugh. I need to, like, tell the formatter to, like, always new line. Ugh. Here, I'm actually going to, like, I'm hearing... oh, you're behind the screens, okay. Yeah, I'm trying to, for lambda body. Yeah, I think before lambda body, if I set this to true... oh, before lambda body is like that. I don't necessarily want to always do that. see. I don't want before lambda body. Oh, this is something completely different. Break inside function parameter call. Alright, we'll see what readthedocs.io has to say. So if I look at lambdas, is that really the only reference to lambdas here? Dang it. Actually, this seems like a good ChatGPT task. I need to... Here, I'll turn down the music for myself, turn up volume for myself, turn up music for stream again. Alright, I should be able to hear you better now. What was the question? Oh. For an ROG page? Oh, yeah. ROC, not ROG. Okay. That is slightly more relevant to make lambda brace wrapping before lambda. No, I don't. Before lambda body didn't do anything though, except like, I mean, before lambda body definitely gave me better results than forces the opening brace of a lambda body to be placed on a new line. Like, this definitely looks better, but I don't necessarily want, like, if I do a map statement now, that will be forced to be on a new line. Like, preferably, it would just do this. instead, I guess this is a good middle ground. This looks a lot nicer than what it was before. So I'll keep it that way, just because it's like actually readable and not horrendous to look at. We'll do serialize type here and pass and s members I type. That serializes that now. And I think that aside from the fact that I want to wrap this in parentheses to say we're grouping these together. That serializes structs, so structs are now done. I don't care about the best jumble of words that mean viewers. And hammer. That was on Twitch. YouTube, I haven't had a problem in that I can remember. I feel like I have had to do it before on YouTube. But I don't know, YouTube goes through waves of having the bot problem fixed, and then it's not fixed, then it is fixed, then it's not. Yeah. So now I need to do arguments and returns. Oh, I still have outputs as a vector. Huh. Thought I was changing this to be a type. I guess I do still have it as outputs. Plural. How am I handling this on backend? Because this will need to be turned into a structure. As well as the inputs, to be honest. Both of those will be a structure. Honestly, it would be super easy to just, like, make this reference a structure. Oh, I don't set the output. That's how I'm... That's how I'm resolving it. Well, since both are an anonymous struct type, what I could do is say input yeah, that's what we'll do is functions and pipelines will just take in one singular type that is in the input or output. Because that's how the runtime is going to pass around function arguments most of the time, is through struct pointers. Well, not struct pointers. It's going to be a little bit more complicated than that. Do I want it to be? Well, if I'm passing in pointers, then... Doesn't make sense. Because the runtime is going to have to iterate over the members of the struct, or over this list of inputs, no matter what. But it does make this easier conceptually if I just do it as structs. I'm just wondering about the optimization potential. Or the weird API stuff, like how will LLVM compile a function that takes a structure as an input? Then again, behind the scenes, it isn't actually going to be a function that takes a structure as input. It's going to be a function that takes a pointer to a lookup table of memories that the script currently has access to, then any structures would be from that. But technically we could still pass in function arguments through the regular function passing stuff. As like appending onto the end of that. But that adds extra complexity. That might be simpler. I don't know. We're gonna go with just blatantly putting in struct types here, because we can, and that makes it easy. And if it does cause performance problems in the future, there are ways that I can fix that without changing the IR. So instead of callsig input, callsig input is anon struct type context. So what we do here is we just say func.input, and let's rename this to input and output. Input is equal to resolve type? Yeah. but it's not quite that simple. Because technically, these resolve types like phone is dinging. Alright, the pings have been vanquished. What was I doing? Right, I was... out type is resolve type for call sig. Output. See, how well do you think multiplayer experiences will be able to handle real-time synchronized physics games? Table tennis is a good example. Uncertain as of yet. I do want to get rollback-based networking working, in which case deterministic rollback networking is like the best way to handle physics-based stuff like that. And the physics library that I'm currently planning on using, which is Jolt Physics, I believe. It supports fully deterministic physics, so just from like the plans, we'll probably handle it decently, but then it's down to the implementation. Issue without type. Okay. Weird, that part of the song always sounds like it's like skipping notes. I wonder if I like I don't know, it wasn't glitching out there, but I don't know if I rolled back far enough. Maybe something about that particular part of the song just trips up audio encoding. I mean, I'm not playing music through the world or through the mic. Maybe it is just the streamed up a headset. Does it ever sound like the music in the background is glitching out, or is that just like virtual desktop? Not virtual desktop, Steam Link glitching out for me. Yeah, like there's no music in the world. Right now I'm just doing it like through my desktop. I think it's just through my Stream Link. Okay, that's probable. Good to hear that it isn't on the stream though, so I'm the only one torturing myself. That's good. Then I'm going to copy all of this code. And put it in here. How did callsig get defined up here? It doesn't look like callsig. Oh, right, because compile function I did a little bit weird. I directly passed callsig in there. I need to refactor this so it works. Okay, and now the parsing now works with function inputs and outputs being just structures. Because especially on the output side, having it be a structure makes it a ton easier. Because I don't think LLVM supports multiple output functions. It might. I feel like now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like I might have seen it having done that or allowing that, but I'm gonna like pass it off as like, oh, it's compatibility for other backends if we want to like write stuff other than LLVM, because LLVM is too heavy to use on a Quest or something like that. Totally not. Totally not laziness. I'm never lazy when I code. Exactly. What was I doing over here? Right, IR to text inputs size. Right, I can just do inputs and outputs. This is functions, yes. Have you ever heard of Banter? Banter is That's the name of SideQuest's app, right? Yeah, I have a friend who, I believe he does their, like, meetup group. Or at least one of them. Input, serialize, type, F, input. Hey, that just works. Pretty interested in banter, still low-key and, but the platform, like many other new metaverses, has a weird obsession with generative AI. Wait, really? The vibes I mean, I haven't interacted with them at all, basically, but enter our platform AI. Let's see what that comes up with. The AI object generation in Quest standalone with banter. Yeah, that's an AI world building and VR video from their official SideQuest YouTube channel. Literally half of it is about using their AI tools. That is a little bit disappointing. I can't fault them for trying to do like first-party AI tools, because it is like very, very buzzwordy right now. In fact, like I have like this whole idea for how I can make like an actually AI first editor concept, where like if you make every action in an editor executable through a command line, so like make it so you can like do every single action you possibly can in an editor through a command line, including like seeing data and a couple like other things like highlight field and whatnot. You'd then be able to write scripts to do things in the editor. And then it's like, oh yeah, just plug that into an LLM, and then like, boom, AI first editor. Problem is that's like not my main idea, and like honestly, I'd like to focus most on like let's try getting like features for like cracked creators working first, and then like then maybe I can do like a vanity, oh let's get like AI stuff working too, because we can. But yeah, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about AI stuff. It's very cool, and it's like genuinely very useful when used in the right instances, but a lot of the time it's just used to create slop. I'm like very against just slop. I want to keep quality of stuff high. I would think that AI first should be created by AI itself. It depends on the paradigm of like how you want to go about that. Because like in my mind, AI first means like, oh, I am the director of an orchestra, and like the AI is the thing playing the music, and I'm like, I want this to be done and this to be done, and I wave my hands and it is done. But it's never like the AI does everything for me. It's like I have a specific vision and I like direct it to how to do that. And in my mind, the best way to do that for like a game engine in particular is like make it very easy for that to interface with the game engine, but never at any point take away the ability of a user to do stuff themselves. Because, like, especially in game dev, like, and the weirdness you have to do, like, you never want to take away power from the actual creator themselves. And I feel like you can give the same amount of power to an AI that you give a user, but there's very much the danger, like, the AI has more power than the user, and I never want that to be the case. Because that's the controversial, like, part of AI, right? Is that it's taking away the ability for people to be creative, like, either financially because, like, it's taking all their jobs, or just, like, over-reliance on it. Which, there isn't really a way to stop the over-reliance. That's more of, like, a that's a personality thing, like personality diff. You got personality diffed. But yeah, I don't know. Dude, it's just there's all this RAI may have become sentient, fear height. It hasn't ever gotten to the point of creating its own tooling. Yeah. I haven't seen a lot of sentience fear-mongering. Mostly because I think, unlike other, like, huge technological buzzwords, like, every single normie is actually using AI. Like, it's a normie-friendly technology. Like, I was, like, building fences a couple of months ago with a group of, like, friends, I guess back in high school friends. I was homeschooled, so it's a little bit weird. Friends from my homeschool group. We were, like, building fences as a side income thing, and, like, all of them were, like, generating AI images for memes, and, like, none of these dudes are technical. Like, we're out there building a fence, as a group of Floridian rednecks, like, but it's, like, a very normie-friendly technology, so I feel like the sentience fears are kind of mitigated by the fact that, like, they're actively interacting with it, instead of it being, like, a holy thing that only the tech bros are using. They're like, oh, yeah, I can talk to it, but I can tell it's not sentient. Here. This is nearly almost done. We'll see how long it takes to actually do operations, because that's what I can see taking longer. Mainly done by OpenAI and Google. I know that there was that one Google employee that was like, oh, I quit Google and the AI is totally sentient. And everybody was like booing him, including Google. I don't know if there's any, like, Google first. I haven't gotten any vibes from Google that they're like, our AI is sentient. I have definitely gotten vibes from OpenAI that they're trying to create a legal moat for themselves, like fear-mongering to politicians about, like, oh, we need to be careful and have regulations that none of our competitors will be able to overcome. So that we are the only, because we are the responsible AI tech company, of course. It's found he pasted together clips of multiple conversations to make it seem like it was one conversation. Well, context window wasn't big enough. That's selling the idea that it will be so capable that it could be a threat. Yeah. And I mean, like, it could, if handled incorrectly, it could be. But honestly, what I'm a lot more worried about is the people using AI. Like, it gives a lot more power to any one individual person. I'm less worried about like one AI going off and like destroying humanity. I am worried about the person who tells AI to destroy humanity on purpose and like guides it through that process and enables it, because I can see the possibility of that happening. Yeah. True, you would have to prompt engineer it, or they could train their own model. Got the Doomsday AI. Hi, YC. Yeah, YC. I have a new concept for an AI. What if we just create a world-ending AI to research world-ending AIs? The AI hype is gonna die down just like the metaverse hype? Yes, I think it is. I don't think it's ever going to go away, like entirely. Like it's a useful technology. It's an objectively useful technology. Let me check. Do I? Yeah, look at this. I have an AI window open right now. Like, it's objectively useful. It's not going away, but the hype probably goes away. Investors probably still keep investing in it, but at the same rate as they do as other tech startups. We invented the Torment Nexus to learn how to destroy the Torment Nexus. Exactly. See, you understand. Kind of like how I'm creating the metaverse from the book Let's Not Create the Metaverse. Or like, guys, I made SAO from the hit show Let's Not Create SAO. Let's see, type 2 could execute. Exactly, just an experiment. It's a social experiment. How do people react when I explode their brains? This will be very interesting. Right, I should get all the government grants for this. Type 2 could execute advanced functions based on a text description inside something like Blender or Unity would be really cool. I just don't want it generating MP3, PNGs, or FBXs. Yeah, and that's... If I ever, like, integrate AI stuff into, like, the editor of Brane Engine, that's the way I would do it, is, like, you say, hey, explain to me how to do this editor task, or tell me where this setting is, and then it would, like, navigate to the setting and highlight the field, like, very much like an assistant, not at doing it for you. Like, it could do stuff for you, but, like, you explicitly telling it to do it, it would probably struggle a lot with, like, make a fantasy castle scene. It would intentionally struggle a lot with that. But if you're like, hey, how do I do this certain one thing in BrainScript? I have trained it on the BrainScript docs, and it's like, oh, this is how you do the thing in BrainScript. No, useful. But not as flashy things. Definitely would be flashy, but not, like, super flashy things. Useful things that make people actually want to use the engine, instead of, hey, I see you're in Notion. Do you want to have the Notion AI write out your report of whatever? Like, I have no clue what I would actually use Notion's AI for, and they push it in your face so much that there's like a keybind to use it on everything, and I'm like, I don't even know what I would use this for. Like, I'll use it if it's useful, but it's not. There's no utility here. They just put it in there to make investor happy. Because they definitely didn't put it in to make user happy. Yes, totally. AI very good. AI make line go up. Line go up important. What was I doing here? Right, I was going to do... stages. Stages equal stage plus equal. I think stages initially equals actually, here's what I'll do. Oh. Come on, let me keep my tabs so I can paste something. Do. There we go. Or actually, if I want to keep the amount of allocations down, I could just put that in here. This isn't premature optimization, it's string operations. For my printout to the non-optimized version. The explicitly not optimized code. It's fine, yeah. The stages is alright. That's good. It's evened out. I'm in homeostasis right now. Yes. Alright, see it. The computer. Tea. Earl Grey. Hot. Exactly. Going to get going for now, but I'm excited to see this come along. Have a nice day and stay hydrated. That I shall. Thank you for sticking around while you could. It is appreciated. Let's see. And I think stage is just a ID ref. And I do have a ID ref, right? Serialized ID ref. Yippee! Then I can do stages. Boom. I wonder, do I want to put new lines in here to format this to make it look nice? I kind of want to, yeah. But at the same time, no. Because then I have to deal with, like, tabs and everything, and I don't want to have to deal with tabs. Maybe I'll make a formatter at some point. I like this world. Many large sea creatures. Okay, so that potentially is fully serialized. At least the pipeline is. Now we need to serialize functions, which will be fun. we need to serialize the ops. Oh dang, I have to do local variables too. Oh, it's just an IR type. Nice. I can do that pretty easily. So in here we're going to have vars. We're going to do serialize pipe var. Here, and I'm actually going to remove the space here and have every single one of these add in a space. And I can actually do this on stages as well. Just, you know, give us the slightest bit of human readable formatting. Just, you know, just the slightest bit. Actually, I just had a good idea, because the way that I'm doing it right now is essentially the idea that this should be parsable without any white space. So I'm going to go to wherever we serialize ID index. I'm going to add a hash in front of this as like a number. The hashes are like, this is the start of a number. Maybe we could even do like 2 hashes. Yeah, we'll just do hashes start of a number until it's a different character. Okay, and then we'll just do ops plus equal a white space plus serialize. Ooh, now we need to do serialize operation. Which I'm gonna put right here. And I might actually see if I can AI complete this, because it will be not fun to do manually. So, actually, it'd be able to figure out the syntax. These, so I'm going to say create a new one. Give in these functions and these type declarations. It is kind of funny that they made this so that when you press enter, it doesn't complete anymore. Oh, this is weird. Why is it doing that? Ah, no, I didn't want to complete it. My shift enter was not powerful enough. Because these are just serialization functions. It's not enough of an intellectual exercise for me to actually... Okay, so it created a serialized IR value function here for me. Do I want this to represent a value? I almost want to do a... I think I will keep this as is, but as long as it has no errors. But I'm gonna change this to a $sign instead, because $sign is a good, like, mental, like, trigger that it's a variable. Matching call for invoke. Not sure I'm a fan of formatting it has going on here. Yeah. Chunk function call for visit. Yeah. Use my wrapper because there's like this match 5 is a wrapper for visit, but it has this little overloads class that allows you to actually put lambdas into there. and it looks like it was complaining about there not being a standard variant. Calls for okay. Then we'll go and we'll fix this up. Serialize store variant. It has another function now. Why is this store? What is store? Constant. Did I create a store type? Oh, I did. Oh, right. Because I wanted to be able to do it from constants. Or... yeah. Then we can go through and make this actually work, because I don't think it will work on the first try. That would be amazing if it did. But you can see there are some errors in there. And that took a lot less time than if I was to code that myself. So let's see. This is... sorry, but bit not op is a binary operator. It's thinking of like the negation operator. Probably. Then we will actually, is this a unary operator? Should that be? I don't know. I'll fix that later when I actually get around to actually implementing those. Actually, XOR would be what I'm thinking of as not. I'll deal with it later. I'll deal with it later. I will deal with it later. We need to get this working. Does it complain? No, this worked. Just telling it, hey, use the abstractions I've created because they make things actually make sense. And then it just uses the abstractions, and they actually make sense. So aside from that one thing, it got it correct. From the one hallucination, which may have actually been more correct than my code, but was still a hallucination nonetheless. But it is my hallucination, so it needs to keep it intact. It needs to keep my hallucination intact, instead of coming up with its own hallucination, which fixes my hallucination. Yeah. And now, all of our operations are serialized. And I think that successfully completes all of the grammar? Maybe? Possibly? Let's see. If we go back to main, if compile res, compiled module, the IR is going to be we need to import IR text serializer. I also need to add it to the actual build. Remind me to do that in a second. And there we go. The animated representation is getting serialized, so we will actually be able to see the result of our work, and if it's even working at all. Real quickly, we need to go here, add in I think that's correct. Let me also check. Is there anything in IR CPP? There is not. But let's have it in there just to be safe. Wait, this is rerunning CMake automatically. Wait, it's automatically detecting CMake for me and rerunning it? Huh? Okay, that's something I'm gonna have to experiment with later. Rerunning CMake. Wait, does CMake build automatically rerun configure if it needs to? Okay. So... do we still have breakpoints here? We do. So then that should run through... oh, we have an error in compiler resolve type. So ID is null for this identifier. Or the output type of the identifier, or the pipeline. So the pipeline output is null. I can fix this. And where we fix this is in document parser. Ooh. I guess we would fix this in parse callsig. Wait. Callsig. Wait, was identifier null? It was the identifier was null. Sig output. Pulsig is just the input and the output variables. It isn't even like the identifier. But if we're resolving the type of the pulsig output, is the member and the label of the member of this anonymous structure. Okay, so the problem is anonymous structs members can't remember why I edit that. So this is where it should be setting the ID value of the member. It's right here. And if we don't get the ID, this should not even exist. Like ID here in this M label map is inside a map. So this is matching on internal value of things. So we're resolving the type. Okay, so this is the scope where it's actually this lambda here. The pointer doesn't exist. Map sum none. Variant index 1, which is sum. Other expressions aren't working, but yeah, this is null. It's the member. This basically never fails. The first member init should always so weird. Maybe it is just map not working, but map has worked in the past. I would like to know though. Type context members. And this is an anon struct context. Use count 2, we count 2, so we are getting value, like info about it. Somewhere in here, a pointer became null. Either it's this pointer right here, which if my debugger was working, I would be able to figure out. Okay, so we are now here. M label not stopped. Not stopped, we are stopped. This should be running. So weird. Is it because this is in... No, this is like... not optimized code. So this should have no problems with actual debugging. running this again. Same error. I'm going to map an identifier to a string. If this label, because like this is your standard option map. About that time for me to turn on the lights in here because it's starting to dim outside. There we go. Now the headset should still be able to see my hands. Okay. Let's see. Can manage to not crash. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to just restart everything. Because the debugger was working before, but it's not working anymore, so... Let's just make sure there's no, like, orphaned, GDB, LLDB, CLangD, etc. Okay, we should be good. Actually, I should have checked what was running underneath the terminal instance. But I'll put a breakpoint on this assert specifically. Failed. Input. Oh wait, did I accidentally rename it? string script call context. Now that's inputs and outputs. Call sig context. Okay. Oh, look at that. Our debugger's actually working. Imagine that. Yep, we can see that ID is in fact null. But now I want to know, where is that null coming from? So if we go up the call stack here, out to where it's being called from. So let's actually check the thing that we're being mapped from. Yep, it is null inside of the actual option, which is an absolute crime because the entire point of the option is that I don't have to check the pointers. Yep, so that is still null. Okay, and which anonymous struct is this from? It was from the pointer output, right? Which, wait a second, the pointer output, wait, pipeline output. Oh no. It crashed again. Yeah. Well, there's only one pipeline to compile, so if we put a breakpoint on there, I'll be able to look at the actual output. Actually, since we do only have one pipeline to compile, that means that I can go and go to where we actually parse the pipeline. ID call sig. Then rerun this. So this is theoretically where the error is from. This is where I expect it to be from. Right, this document is actually optimized, so step through debugging is going to be weird. So maybe parse anonymous struct type isn't working because the output type is actually defined for pipelines if I did it correctly, which I'm going to double check. I go to example scripts, test script. Yep, the output type of the pipeline is manually defined as opposed to the pipeline stages where it is not manually defined and implicitly nothing. If I step over here, output is some. So let's check what output. The debugger isn't working. Identifier was null. Let's check. And this is on pipeline output. Okay, so we go into the call sig. We parse out the member definition for ours, so this should be couple. Wait a second, did it run fully? Just ran fully. Did I accidentally fix something? No, that's crashing. It's super weird. GDB of adapter, GDB. So it's crashing so bad, our debugger is crashing. How can you breathe? You're underwater. No, actually, I'm inside of a tube. You see like the support structure over there? We're actually inside of a tube. Where's my... Here they are. Come on, controllers. Here we go. See? We are in a tube. We are safe. And there's also why I have not been consumed by one of the giant whales. Alright. Excuse me for a moment. We have to edit the nvim config real fast. Right now I have GDB as an executable, but I use GDB as a server. I wonder if I could just copy the Alright guys, do we see a port here? No, I wish code LLDB would just work. Oh, interesting. I wonder what interpreter does. Yeah, no, there's no server argument. For us, they're probably using code LLDB. I wonder if I could just use code LLDB here for a quick second. So this will use LLDB instead, which doesn't work at all. Even though it should. Executable command. Interesting that they have user. Oh, this is on Linux. I go here and I'm like, type server port. I feel like I've gotten this working before. Like, it obviously runs it. I wonder where this port variable is coming from. Good LLDB used to work. But now, even GDB isn't even working. It's just failing. And I'm not even getting console output because it's running it in a external terminal. Like if I... Here, let's go into build. And just manually run it. Example scripts, each script does not exist. Maybe I just have it as test script? I do. Assertion failed. Identifier was null. Oh, my assertion is my GDB break on exit. Then the thing I want to do is go over here and add to my ever-growing list of commands want to evaluate the command catch exit on function exit. And then over here, I want to do lazy reload and them down. And it did not catch it, but now I at least know that it's the assertion that is kicking us out of here, so... Node identifier is null. I can at least see and double check again. Resolve type for compile pipeline output. Cool. So we know it's call sig output. Then if we go to source, well, this could be in compiler because this is when we, no, this is in compiler. That would be the context. I keep getting the printer and the context mixed up. And output should never be set differently, so let's just go into document parser. This output value is null. Right here. Because the call sig isn't edited by anything else. Okay, so first it's on this. Then we're compiling the pipeline. Wait. No active session. What do you mean no active session? That UI is bugging out. What do you mean there is no active session? Then how is this breakpoint happening? Anyway. We use make node on struct type context. It's a node list, which will be initialized to nothing by default. And then we get to this type output. Wait. Hello, Bim? Okay. Had to do a little bit of spamming. First call sig. It'd be a lot easier to debug if my debugger was working. Yeah, I need a debugger to be able to debug this. Okay, so we're gonna put a breakpoint not in resolve type, since we don't need to do resolve type. We'll do parse pipeline here. And we're just going to check the value of call sig if we can. Cool. So I just need to get to these debugs before that throw actually happens, because when that throw happens, it crashes everything. We need to look at call sig. Rather, pipeline, call sig, and we have input and we have output. And this output is a members list of length 1. And one of the labels. This is the identifier. Text is count. So this is correct. At this stage in the pipeline, label is correct. Yeah. It's super weird. So this stage label is correct. Oh, I use standard move on map for options. I don't want to do that. Because I've been working under the assumption that options retain their value. Okay. Perhaps a case of premature optimization, shooting myself in the foot. Let's see if this goes differently, because the value was valid, and we never touched that value again, and then it became invalid, which is suspicious to me. First pipelines. All sig. Output value members 0. Label is count. That is correct. Then it fails. Call operator. So when we compile function, wait a second. But like output, pulsig output. Oh, maybe it's pulsig output. See, do I accidentally assign to this anywhere? Well, I guess instead of doing map here, which all this is supposed to do is take value, pass it through this function, then return result. And this should be the first time resolve type is ever called, so let's try running like that. I'm gonna reload and then dap, so we can hopefully get actual debug information for this. We don't get debug information for it. Hello, how goes it? We're just trying to figure out why my debugger isn't telling me what's wrong. But I want to just map this and say, like, new member. We'll just say if m label then new member ID equals some m label value text. Instead of this whole deal, else new member ID none. Yeah, not really. Like, it has me wanting to renew my JetBrains subscription, not gonna lie. Where they actually have a debugger for MSVC. Actually, I think they use Clang. Because, like, look at this. We have no local variables. No session. And then it just runs, or it doesn't. For some reason, like, every time I trigger this error, like, the debugger doesn't work on runs after that. Or even, like, I think it's this file specifically. Compiler context. Maybe I do need to manually tell it to do debug info. Even though, like, it wouldn't be able to do breakpoints at all if it didn't have debug info. Like, this should be all simple bugs. Screw it. Sorry, Vim. You are being not useful enough. So... or rather, getting in the way too much instead of making stuff easier. We're going to open up Visual Studio Code. At this directory, I'm going to use cpp vs debug, which is the Visual Studio native debug. Program does not exist. Really? Program nothing does not exist. Program is right here. Is it like being annoyed that there's not... No? Build, debug, CLI, transcript CLI. Oh, it probably needs, oh, here we go. Complaining now that the workspace root isn't, here. Let me get an example launch JSON. They want, okay, so the money symbol goes here. They want it to be workspace folder. Current working directory is missing or empty. Huh. Process has exited normally.